What's happening, guys?
Hey, Nick.
Hi.
How good?
Hey, Peggy.
Hey, April.
Hey everybody.
Hey, Elisa.
Sorry you're not going to be there tomorrow.
Oh, me too. You're gonna have a great time. I'm so excited. I
The
wish I was
weather the
there.
weather is the weather is stellar right now. It's like 80 degrees out.
Can you
Sorry.
stop?
Sorry for
Stop.
everybody else.
It
Sorry.
is, stop. It is 11 where I am right now. Stop it.
Well, somebody has to live in San Diego and I'm just taking one for the team.
Have so much fun. When are you headed out?
Early in the
Early.
morning
Yeah. Have so much fun.
before the traffic.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hi, Peggy.
Zara, how are you doing?
A little out of it still.
Yeah.
Fix, coming down off the
Yeah.
amnesia, anesthesia.
Anesthesia. It takes a few days, so just be real gentle with yourself.
Oh, I should expect this cloud for a few
Hey,
days.
be careful on the bike,
Okay.
please.
I won't be on the bike this weekend. I'm off the next 2 days from work, so it's lined up good. That's why I took Friday when they said I could have a Friday.
Yeah. And have you eaten yet?
Yeah, I ate. I've been drinking lots of water, and I didn't do anything heavy. I kind of went right back to FUBAR.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What was your first bite of real food?
I had some black beans.
Good.
And I had some grilled chicken with some
Good.
veggies.
Good. I'm proud of you. Everything's going to be okay. I've been thinking about you. So good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
Yeah. Keep hydrating. This is good.
I really love water. I've noticed in the whole pump club journey how much I've been neglecting water and sleep in my life.
Yeah. Easy to set those things aside first, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, it's so
Mm,
good to see you.
you too. Mm.
All right, I'm back. My computer just force restarted without warning, so
What a
I've
joke.
had the same laptop from 2017, so it's still works. So I'm one of those people who like, why get it? I'm not a latest and greatest guy. When it works, it works.
I
Era
feel you.
el,
My lap 2019, it keeps trucking.
But I think it's
hey,
one of the signals of I'm
it,
tired, bro.
it's about time, Nick. It's about time. Change it.
This thing's been through it all. It's been through flight school. It's been through everything.
Hmm. Tough to kill
I
then.
actually got forced into all Apple products because of fun side note before we really dive into this. Um, I was Android, Samsung stuff, just because I felt it was like simpler, it was more malleable with a bunch of other things. So I entered flight school and you need this app called ForeFlight. It does like navigation, flight charts, things like that. And it was only offered by Apple. So I got a tablet because you mount the tablet in the helicopter and you kind of use that. It was like a one-stop shop. Well, I had to send stuff from my tablet to my laptop for like some of the, oral exams and all the quizzing and note taking, and they wouldn't communicate. So then I got an Apple laptop. Well, when I tried to get my phone and my laptop to do stuff, guess what wouldn't communicate? My phone and my laptop. So I got like muscled into all Apple products, and I still hold that resentment.
Valid.
All right. It is Noah. Do you want to give it a couple more minutes, see if some more people trickle in, or do you want to run it with the form checks? Also, Carlee Miller recently competed in her first powerlifting meet and absolutely smashed her jump. She hit a lifetime PR on deadlift, I believe. She killed it.
Carlee, unmute.
Thanks. Yeah, it was on my deadlift. Sorry, these are my boys. This is Logan and this is Miles.
Hi, guys.
But yeah, it was so much fun. I'm already signed up for the next powerlifting meet.
Let's go.
Yeah, you say hi. Say hi to Coach Nic.
Yeah, if anyone, what's up, guys? If anyone is considering, competing in powerlifting, strongman, whatever, speak up. Ketch will put you in contact with me directly. We can, like what we did for Carlee, we sat down on our own, Zoom call, and we went over goals, expectations, stress management. Her weight cut was virtually nothing. So that was, and for those of you that are competing the first time, do it in a division where you don't have to worry about a weight cut, because I want you to learn to compete. Weight cutting adds a whole different stressor and refeeding. Now, her weigh-ins were, a few hours before her competition. So some federations do that. So it makes people compete at what they actually weigh versus my fat ass that weighs 225 and cuts down to 198 because I used to be 198 pounds. So if any of you are considering, we can get that rolling. We worked on her jumps. We did the math. So she was set up for good jumps across all three of her lifts. And she went out and that executed absolutely beautifully. Her lifts all look really good. Her deadlift, even though it was lifetime PR, the best thing about her lifetime PR was that there was more in the tank. So for any of you knows, I love competition. I've been a competitor since I was about 2-3 years old in something. So when I hear someone wants to compete, it lights a fire in my ass as a coach, because I know how much fun it is for me, and to see, her go out there and her message me afterwards. I was driving across the country in the snowstorm. And to see all of that was an absolute big moment for a coach to see. And so again, if any of you guys are even contemplating it, let me know.
And I'd say the best thing, if you missed Arnold's newsletter on Monday, go back and watch it, because when you see Carlee's face when she finishes the deadlift at the top, it's the absolute best. Just like pure accomplishment. It's fantastic. So
Carlee, I just want to tell you how pumped we all were watching it. We shared in that joy. Arnold's excitement was earnest, maybe only outpaced by hours. And it's incredible. And your kids can know that they have a super strong mom. Nic, I do want to...
That's awesome. Thank you. We do watch Mom lift all the time. We do mama videos all the time now.
As they should. Nic, when you said that you had earmuffs for the kids, a fat ass, was that a compliment to your strong posterior chain, or were you being self-deprecating?
Oh, that was self-deprecating because I almost 30 pounds heavier than almost 25 pounds heavier than my weight division.
It's pretty bad.
I just like to think of you as just diesel and strong rather than fat. And also, it's not really fair because how much of that weight is in your beard?
At least 25%.
That's what I'm saying. This isn't even...
I'm Greek. We got thick hair.
Imagine the weight cut if you shaved the beard.
Dude, it doesn't stop here. It keeps going.
Yeah. I did like in your front squat video when you point out how you have to flip the beard. It's important.
There's only one event where you can't get it out of the way, and it's log. And if I clean it too fast on like my speed work, it actually, as it rolls up, it pulls my face into the log, and I've actually gotten a bloody nose from it one time. Because I cleaned it really explosively, and I just wasn't expecting it, and it pulled my face in the log, and it smashed my nose and was bleeding out of my left nostril. So I was doing log cleaning presses with tissue stuffed up my nose. It was a mess.
As one does.
Adam and I are here because we were together today schlepping weights over for our meetup, and we're really excited to see whoever shows up tomorrow. But we figured
this is
we'd
not my
call
home. I don't have a chandelier in my bedroom, you guys. I wish I did, but in LA for the pump meetup tomorrow.
Yeah, Catch was pulling some heavy percentages today, and I didn't get to. It looked so good, I didn't get to verbally abuse him.
I know it was mean. We were pretty excited.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have anything. I can't make fun of him. These are what I've been trying to get him to do for weeks on under heavyweight. He didn't get all neurotic. He just pulled the bar.
We worked on the setup. All credit goes to Nick, and then second most credit goes to Catch. I guess he pulled the weight. Third credit goes to me for just telling him to stop messing up his setup. That was all it was. Even like that one before, I didn't send him the one at like your warm up at 365 where you're doing this weird twisty thing beforehand, and I was like, well, I don't even know what you're doing. Stop.
All right, let's let Nick start his form checks.
All right, no, fire up the form checks for me. Are all you guys coming to the Arnold? We got a lot of big turnout at the Arnold.
I hope you guys are. Guys, the Arnold is a party, and we're planning a lot of special.
Make sure you find your way to the animal cage, because we may or may not have confirmed that with Animal Pack.
I've got my Airbnb booked already. I've got the ultimate whatever ticket pass. I'm so excited to see you all.
We're excited to see everyone that comes. Glad
Can't wait.
and so you all know when Nick says the animal cage, it's not an actual animal cage if you're not familiar with the brand Animal, although there are animal-like strength performing in the cage, but this is for humans to do.
It is a cage, though. They build
it is a cage, but not meant for actual animals.
All right. Hit me, Noah. Frederick, what do we got? Rear delt raise / fly. Overall, I don't hate the arm angle. I would like to see you a little bit more leaned over, per se, and less body English from the waist up. A good way, if you're learning how to do these, and Frederick, you might be able to try this, is do them prone. So take an incline bench, put it up at around 30 degrees, and lay down face down on it. And because it takes away any ability to give any of that body English. With these raises and these, I call them small assistance movements, because they're not meant to get heavy. They do better under control, time and tension, lighter weight. The less we put the rest of our body into it, the more we can get out of it. So try that chest supported variant for a week or two and get used to the angle. Get used to doing them incredibly strict, and then switch to the seated, because this is still a valid option. I would just like to see a little bit less of a hinge happening, and keeping those arms, those elbows. Oh my God, Bruno! Hank got a brother, and they're nonstop. Sorry. So if you hear growling in the background, that's just I've got this going on. All right, next. These are good. These are nice and strict. I like these. IYTs. So Adam might be able to clarify. Adam, do you want them at an angle or do you want them completely vertical for IYTs? Because there's a couple different ways to do that specific movement.
Yeah, I would definitely have more of an angle and hinge a little bit, just so
Okay.
you're working more against gravity, especially with the Ys and the Ts. It's less so much with the Is. And then same as you were mentioning by doing it prone, if you're at home and have body weight, right, do what you got, but doing it prone really prevents from getting any body language.
Yep.
Okay. I've been trying to keep like a diagonal with my back and my shoulders.
Yeah.
I would even go right at a sharper or flatter angle, really, because the more that you are bent over, the more you're fighting against gravity. Same idea if you were doing like a bent over row. You could do like a Yates row where you're up at like 70 degrees, but that's right, that might hit the lower lats a little bit more. But when you're bent over more, it's a whole different ball game with what you can pull.
It is. Yeah. I'll try doing it just flat, like you said, and see how much more I can hold it and all that.
Sweet. Perfect. Yeah, things like this when there's room for different angles and such. It's good to have Adam here to clarify how he has it programmed and how he wants it done. Because I've done them flat, I've done them at an angle, I've done them vertical, I've every which way. So next. Yeah, these are good. Basically, when you're planking, a good way to stay braced is breathe shallow.
Yeah. Breathe shallow, and then I just
Yep.
squeeze the shit out of my abs is what I've been trying to
Good.
do.
Perfect. That's what we want. That's breathing under tension. Breathing under tension is shallow breathing, so you can keep contraction.
Yeah.
Well
Okay,
done.
cool.
Next. Hip raises. These are good. I want more extension.
What's that mean? Exactly.
So you
Okay.
see how when you get up to the peak of that,
Yeah.
you see how this is what I would call soft. Look at the hip angle. Not
Yeah.
to the quad muscle because that could give you the illusion of never being able to get straight. Look at the hip angle in relation to the middle of the crease of your knee, the back of your
Okay.
knee. We want it to exceed that back of the knee.
So try to get it higher.
Yes, we want to get into hyperextension. So it's
Okay.
going to be like, it's going to be a really, it forces you to squeeze incredibly hard and
Okay.
just drive with everything you have.
Should I push down hard against the ground with my feet while I'm doing this, or like
Yeah,
what?
there's no other way to do it. Yeah, you've
Okay.
got to drive through your feet and squeeze your butt at the same time to really push up to the sky. It might even be easier. Um, I don't know your setup, but to turn that jug on its side and hold it so it doesn't tip, but it kind of goes across.
That's a good idea. I'll do that this next time I do the hip raises. I can lay it and strap it that way. That way it kind of just, like you're saying, sits in between there and rises.
Yep. Cool.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Next. Dumbbell shoulder press. Good. Great range of motion. All the way down. Nice. All the way up. Hey. Yeah, these are good. Um, a little bit of leg drive starting to hit failure. Nice. What she's doing a really good job of here is look how she's pressing toward the back of her head, like the crown of your head. And that's a very common mistake. People overpress and they keep in front of their face the whole time. When you're overhead pressing, whether it be dumbbell or barbell, you push to the crown of your head. Why? Because if you look at her wrists, they're over her hips. It keeps that weight over her center. So leverage is actually at its worst here at the bottom, and then it gets better as you rise. It's the same principle of bench pressing. Next. Good job, Mindy. RDLs. Nice. These are beautiful. The only cue I really want to give you is don't rise slow. We want the contraction to do its job. I want you to accelerate that bar. That's what carries over to the deadlift. That strong ignition of the hamstrings and the glutes. So right here, you're squeezing your butt as hard as you can possibly squeeze it, trying to snap the bar in half. Next. Your form, though, looks great. I love it. Oh, okay, that got brighter. I was like, man, I can't see shit. Oh. Backlight can be a son of a bitch. Ooh, a little squat clean action. Okay. Okay, making it work. I mean, he's using a cheater bar or a curl bar, whatever you want to call it. But these are squat cleans with a split jerk, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that have never seen, this is an Olympic movement. And overall, especially from this angle, the side angle would tell me a little bit more. He's got a lot right here. Timing's a little off on the squat clean, but it's doing its job. So what a squat clean does is the same thing. It's basically a jerk in the clean. So what it does is when the bar hits the point where it starts to float, you jerk underneath of it into the squat and catch the bar, stand up, and then hit the split jerk. You CrossFitters do this type of stuff for making a clean and press harder for like WODs and stuff. It's a good exercise. It is a little bit of a higher difficulty exercise because it requires such a broad motor skill pattern. But overall, he's doing well. Jamie, the main thing for you that I can take away from this video is when you go to clean and press on one of your last reps, as you dip down to press for the leg drive portion, your knees collapse just a little bit. See how's you're fatiguing out, those knees are collapsing. Let's see this last rep. This is good because I'm doing intensive split jerk work right now. So this is all super fresh. Right. Make that jerk, that dip and drive, really, really explosive. Don't think about big deep drive. Think about shallow fast. Right there. Yeah, you didn't get your feet in position on the portion before the push into the jerk. But overall, you're doing these very well. I'd like to see these from the side if this is something you want to work on and progress on. I have no problem coaching you on it. I would like to see these from the side. I want to see where your feet are landing. I want to make sure you're landing on the ball of your foot with the rear foot. When when you're stepping back underneath the bar, you step back with the front foot halfway, then forward with the back foot. But yeah, I think we need to get you a little bit wider. But overall, it's looking pretty good, man. This is a good starting point. Next. I think that might be our first squat, clean, and split jerk submission that I can recall. Good. As she's contracting and pulling down, she is advancing towards her knees, not just hinging down. That's what you want to see with these. Well done, Jam. Next. You'll hear me say this a lot, and he did it here. He stood, I believe we talked about it previously on his rows. He stood all the way up, he braced, he went down to his row position. We generate way more tension coming down to our row position after we stand up with it. And you can see his breath. You know it's cold in there. This is just some gridiron. I love this. Andy, those look great.
Thanks, Nick. I'm new to this, so I'm just trying to figure out where my feet should be. Do I try to keep them
About
like
shoulder
as
width.
close to the weight as I can? Kind of.
Yeah, about
Okay.
shoulder
I mean,
width,
like,
man.
okay. I mean,
Think
more
about
like this.
treat it like a deadlift, right? Where you are at your
Yeah.
most advantageous in a hinged over position. So, rule of thumb, when you're doing anything in a hinge pattern, do it at the width outside of maybe some like wide stance good mornings, but I don't know if any of those are programmed.
Yeah.
Treat those in a deadlift position because that's where we need that hinge pattern strength.
Got it. Okay. Thanks, Nick.
Yes, sir. All right, Jeanette, let's see what you got for me this week. Well, she deadlifting this week. She went and grabbed a whole barbell. I love it. She's been doing dumbbell a lot recently, and she's actually deadlifting. Jeanette, this is pretty good. I want you to keep driving your knees out towards your arms when you deadlift. Keep your head straight. But you're piecing this together. You're doing a actual deadlift, and it's getting better. Keep that bar close to your shins, but you've got all the right pieces to the puzzle. Just a little bit of execution fine tuning, my lady. Well done. Good job. You've got a little bit more leg drive in your kettlebell swings, and I think we can get a little bit more. Think squat then hinge, squat then hinge. But these are looking better than the last time you submitted them, Jeanette. So good job. Next. Aussie Ian. I believe we have a Scottish Ian and an Aussie Ian. Yes. Boom. Nail depth. Getting a little bit forward, but that's okay. So because you're getting forward, that's why in the video you can see your butt. Look, your butt's going to kick up, then you're going to hinge through. So it what's happening is I call a two-piece. So it's kind of like bit versus it all rising at once. So what I want you to keep in mind is as you're coming out of the hole, I want you driving that back into the bar. Don't let the bar bring you forward. Fight that bar on the way down, maintain that tension, and drive into it as hard as you can on the way up. Because that the way it's trying to fold you is what's shallowing your depth. If you can control that folding, depth is going to feel a little bit more natural.
Okay.
But you're getting down there, man. Every single rep was at or below pretty much. There might have been one that was a little shy, but you were consistent. And that's a really good thing. It's like in shooting, if your shots are bad, but they're all in the same place, that's a really good sign because it means your muscle pattern, your grip, your trigger squeeze, everything's super consistent. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing here. Even though your reps are doing the same thing every time and it's something maybe we don't want, you're consistent. So it means you're doing the same thing every time, which is really, really good.
Thank you.
Next. Yes.
Front view now.
Yep. I want to see the foot width. So you look short femur, long torso. I love how those knees track out towards your pinky toes. See, your squat looks really good from this angle.
Thank you.
This is good. Yeah, you see as you start to get deeper in the set, those little wiggles in the legs and the fatigue. Good brace. Nice job. Yeah, I like your width. I like how does that width feel to you? What does it feel like to you?
Yeah, it feels okay. It just a bit uneasy on the legs. They start wobbling around a little bit, but it just does seem to just try to bend me over. That's the problem.
So your legs will never ever be able to not squat a weight that you can come down with. And what I mean by that is, I probably said that in a really bad way because basically, if you can control the weight down, your legs have the power to bring it up. What will 90% of the time be prevention, even for the best squatters in the world, is most time when you fail a squat, you fold. So it's the time under tension and the core being able to bear the weight. The core will, this is why I tell people what happens on a deadlift when you fail, you typically fold. It's the core. So keep that in mind for this. This is why like bracing and core training is incredibly important because it will forever be the weak link. You are chasing the dragon with core strength because no matter how strong your core gets, the rest of your body can always do more.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you throw on a belt here for your heavier sets, that's totally acceptable. You'll notice you got a little more in the tank bracing into that belt because it'll help with some of that folding. That's where a belt really comes into play and becomes advantageous. But I like the way you're doing things. It's honestly just a matter of you're right on your working sets are right on the cusp of what your cores and your posterior chain in the midsection are able to withstand. And that's kind of right where you want to be because you're not entirely folding. You're starting to fold.
Thank
So
you.
I really want you to take away is that driving into the bar cue and squeezing with the back.
Will do.
Right on, man. Keen as you would say down there, right?
Yes, mate.
Good. A little hip rise out of the hole. It's very minor. But that little hip kick up, it puts you a little bit back away from the bar because your hips kick up, which brings your knees back. So I want you to get in the habit of feeling what that position feels like because this is a muscle memory, body awareness cue. So know if you can somehow manage to pause it right when his hips kick up. Now, boom, that's your deadlift start position.
Okay.
That's where your leg drive actually picks up. That's your hips trying to get in position to allow your legs to do what they need to do.
No problem.
So your deadlift overall looks great. This is when I'm nitpicking like this, it's a really good sign. It's because you've got so much right and the adjustment's subtle. And that will keep the weight, that adjustment will allow you to actually get the bar where it needs to be up against your shins so your knees don't kick back and create that space and essentially put the weight out front.
Yep.
Cool beans. Next. Good job, Ian.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Juan. So one, we're high, not by much. Two, I want you to, if you look at the bottom, how your hips try to cheat forward as you get near the hole. No, can you restart that for me? See that little, you come down and then your hips start to, you hit that flexion point. So I want you to be really conscious of keeping that chest proud and pulling that upper back together and keeping your butt a little bit more behind your heels. You see how when you come down, look at your heels lift. I want you to have more weight from the middle of your foot where like the laces tie back towards your heel. And that will give you much better dictation and leverage into the bar. Next. Rack pulls. Good. These are good rack pulls. These are, it's like the upside down version of RDLs and SDLs, but heavy. It's the top half of the deadlift. Rack pulls, I always tell people when you're whatever the weakest point in the upper half of your deadlift is, that's where you want to hit your rack pulls. Paul, accelerate the bar. As that bar gets through that weak point, I want it to speed up. And it's hard to see when it gets heavy, but it's something you feel. So this is where those RDLs and those stiff leg deadlifts where that glute squeezing comes into application. Accelerating those hips to the bar. But overall, these are solid, man. This is solid work. It's heavy. It's good volume. You're not really in any sort of concerning flexion, just a little bit as you get deeper into the set. But so it goes as you fatigue out. Next. Well done, Paul. Benoit. Single legs. Good. I like that acceleration. I want that rear foot less load bearing. So we don't need the single legs as violent as the standard RDL. Why? Because I don't want you cheating that back foot in. I want that front foot side to be doing as much of the work as possible. And to really make it even worse, or not worse, but harder, when you're in that position, what I want you to do is when that's back, it's going to look like you're doing this. But if you notice, as you go back, that backside hip opens up. So it's actually doing this. To make it feel more in that front leg, what I want you to do is it's going to feel like you're twisting, but you're actually driving, and it creates a neutral. So I have a sweatshirt on, but if I do it like this and I let it open up, do you see how that hip opens up? And this is actually behind me now. If I just turn that down, not only does it neutralize my hips, but I feel it pulling that front leg a little bit more. And it's something you have to actively do.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed I was kicking a lot with the rear leg.
Yes, I want this all with front foot, and that the hip thing and the rear foot pressure, the two most common things I see with single leg RDLs is getting the proper activation. I wouldn't call it a higher level. I would just say it takes a little bit more body awareness than the other variations because of A, neutralizing your hips, and B, making sure you're using that rear leg is not load bearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well,
just a
using the
guide.
rear leg made me much stronger, but
It
it
always
wasn't the
will, but that's not the goal with these. So
exactly.
your acceleration might dip down a little bit, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be much more deliberate. They're going to be harder, but they're going to be doing exactly what they need to do.
And what about
overall,
the weight of those dumbbells? Because I feel when I only put my weight on one leg, then I feel I'm unbalanced with the dumbbells. I don't know where to place them, either each side of my hips or should they be each side of my leg?
So here's what I do. Since you're learning this, whatever
Mhm.
foot is forward, hold one dumbbell in the opposite hand.
Only one?
Try it with one because I want
Okay.
you to. I don't want you thinking about balance as much. I want you to
Yeah.
be able to think about the execution.
Okay.
So counterbalancing, I would say put the other hand on your hip or on your stomach. And so if your right leg is forward, you're holding the dumbbell in your left hand.
Okay. I'll
And
try
that should
that.
also help you with pulling that hip into neutral.
All right.
Alrighty?
That's a good tip. Yeah, that's a good tip. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Next.
For that one, I don't know why my feet are not touching the ground. I don't know how to to leave them on the ground. You'll see.
I think it's just a matter of your feet are so far out in front of you.
Because they're separate? See,
Yeah, it's just you're counterbalancing. So see how as you press, you lean further back so your feet lift up, which is your core trying to stabilize. Your legs kick out to try and counterbalance so you don't fall back. That's all that is. It's neither here nor there, really, because your core is working hard and you're pressing. So I'm not that concerned with it. You could, if it bothers you, you could put your feet kind of underneath of you. Like, I don't know how to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know if I should lock them in the
You could kind of
see.
have more of a bend in your knees so your feet are kind of under the bench and your toes are
Yeah.
screwed into the ground. You could do that. But you're executing the movement in the fashion it needs to be done. So there's a variation of a seated overhead press where you actually sit on the floor with your feet out in front of you. It's called a Z press, and your feet kind of get light because you're pressing over your head. It's one of the most core taxing overhead press variations because of the stability. So you're actually getting a lot of stability work doing it this way, which I'm totally okay with.
Okay. So it's
So you
normal
don't
if they
really have to change it, Benoit.
no.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
It's tomato. I don't know if you have a saying in France over there that's similar to because depending on where you're from in America, some people say tomato, some people say tomato. So
Okay. Yeah, I'd say tomato.
there you go. Or
On
potato,
dit tomate. Tomate en français.
potato.
It's tomato.
And
Tomato.
there's Australia. I wouldn't take language advice from a prison state. So
Hey, we love our penal colonies.
I guess you do when you didn't have a choice. I'm going to be really picky with Carlee here because she has to press at a powerlifting standard now, which isn't a bad thing. So you're noticing how she's pausing those reps. Basically, because you actually have a press command in powerlifting. So be down, press. And depending on the judge, they might be, as she learned this weekend, some of her commands were faster than others. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So she's doing a dead stop pause and arresting it completely and pressing from that dead stop, which is really, really good. She's driving back up toward, look at that drive back up towards her face. Look at that slight arch, tight upper back, leg drive. I mean, her press looks outstanding. That one was a little out front. These next two, great bar path. Carlee, your bench is really good.
Yeah, when I grow up, I want to bench like Carlee.
Yeah, I mean, her bench is probably prettier than mine, but I also never bench unless it's in the off season. I've never had a pretty bench. But look, hold on. That for unrack. Noah started over. This was something she does incredibly well. As she unracks, watch her shoulders. Do you see how her shoulders rolled down her body? And you could see, start it over again. Noah. Thank you. Boom. Look, her unrack. Amelie, I want you to pay attention to this. This is something I need you to learn. Everyone to learn. Unrack. Look how she sets her upper back coming out of the rack. Dead stop.
She's amazing.
Dead stop into the press. I mean, that is chef's kiss. That's what I want to see everyone doing. That's how you pack your back in a bench. Well done, Carlee. Outstanding. I love when I can use you guys as like, this is how it's supposed to be done. That is my favorite thing in the world because it means you're improving. Good acceleration. Hips kick up just a little bit, Will. See how those hips kick up? Same thing. I was literally the same exact cue I was giving to Ian. Applies to you here. You're doing so much well. Those hips kick up, sucks your knees back, puts a little bit more of a gap between you and the bar. Identical cue for Ian for you. From Ian works for you here. Next. Chris, not bad at all. Your hip position's where it needs to be. You've got no real shift, change in height. I want to see you emphasizing that brace a little bit more. We're getting a little bit too much lumbar flexion on your first couple of reps in the set. But I love how you're dragging that bar straight up your legs. Your hip position's great. I want you to take that chin. See how you have your chin cocked up? I want you to bring it down and make it neutral. Not look down, pull it in. Because you're adding an extra curve to your spine. We want to get that as neutral as possible. Other than those two things, really, when it comes to that brace and that lumbar flexion, that cue you hear me give, turn your tailbone to the sky, push your belly button to the floor. The same thing you do when you do a cat-cow is the same thing I want you to try and mimic in your deadlift setup. Otherwise, your bar path looks good. You're doing a lot right. Next. April, working on her pin squats. Pause it. April,
Yes.
what do you see here? There's something that stands out really, really loud.
Pitched forward.
Yes, look at the end of your barbell in relation to your toes.
Yes, and that should be way back.
You should be more over the center of your foot.
Okay.
So let it play. So pause it about halfway up for me, Noah. Look at that. That's your bar point. That's your bar path. That it needs to be vertical from there. Let me see the beginning of the start of the second rep. First rep's there. Second rep is there. Do you see the drastic difference between the two?
Yes.
You got much better on the second go around. That was great. I love that one. So something to keep in mind. What I always tell people, for whatever reason, their first rep in the set's always the worst. Whether it's bench, especially deadlift, and then squats as well. And now I know you're learning these, but what made me really happy about watching this progress into the set is they got better. So pin squats, because it mimics starting in the bottom, much like a deadlift, the first rep's always the worst. You got up, came down, and gravity put you where you needed to be.
Okay.
So keep that in mind on your setup and being mindful that you might be out front.
Okay.
But I'm loving how these are progressing. These look way more natural to you now.
Okay. Should I submit a video of just like the regular squat from the front and the side so you can see both?
No, because I don't think I need it because it doesn't look like you're struggling to get down to depth.
Okay, great. Good. Thanks.
I mean, do you feel like you're struggling to get down there?
No, it's much better. And Jen was explaining lengthening the groin area rather than just thinking of trying to sit into the knees. And I actually felt like that was helping too. So I think I'm getting there. It's just practice. I just need 100 reps. I need a lot of reps, a lot of practice.
We all do. 1000%. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't need to see it from the front or the back because you look much more comfortable now.
Right. Keep going.
I just want to let you keep ticking along because what this progressing a whole, each week or each session is working for you. It's doing its job. So I just want to let you keep getting reps in and seeing how this progresses. And just keep submitting the videos. And if anything jumps out, we'll catch it.
Okay. And so that's just 95. That's just 225 plates and the bar. That's enough for just still working on position, right?
Yeah. As long as it's when you're learning position, I don't want a weight that forces any dangerous errors. What I mean by that causes you to struggle to where form breaks down. I want you to be able to get into position and move a weight that allows you to keep everything intact so it feels how it's supposed to.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Great job. Ian actually asked the question after Jen's Zoom meeting in her thread before this one was posted. And I gave him the same thing. I got him working down because he's just learning pin squats. He has trouble finding position. Pin squats are very uncomfortable if you've never done them. It's weird starting from the bottom, but these look good. I can't see exactly where his bar is like I could with April's. April's had a really good angle for that. But it doesn't look like he's too far forward. He's like at or maybe just shy of depth. And it's his first kind of week doing them. So this is really good sign, Ian. I want you to just, because we're working down to depth and your squat, there's nothing alarming going on. I want you to keep ticking along. Just like I said to April, I want you to keep ticking along, keep pushing that bar slightly lower. And again, keep submitting the video. So if anything jumps out, we'll catch it. But Ian, this is a fantastic start. Good job. Next. I had pin front squats in my last cycle. I just started my peak pin front squats, and those, like, I have to work down before I start my working set because they just, every time I do them, even this far in the game, it's just, I've got to like get down there because I just feel wonky. Ooh. Race. Yes. Set his hips, got in position, pushed the ground away. Bryan, I like these. Hips kicked up just a little bit there, but it's subtle. It's not throwing you off too much. Even less there, good. Even less there. His body's just putting him where he needs to be, deeper and deeper in the set. Mainly, part of the reason why that happens is, one, you're getting used to it. Two, as you fatigue, your body is looking for leverage. So it will find a way. This is why listening to your body is important. And some people's bodies do it better than others. Don't know why. Could have been an athlete in a different sport in the past, and their body just knows. It's the same thing when there's an event with say a newer implement. My coach will be like, "Hey, go mess with that, figure it out, and then we'll polish it from there." So, because there's different ways to pick and carry a sandbag, there's different ways to load a sandbag, whatever the way my body likes and optimizes, and we drill that in, and his body just kind of optimized as he went deeper in the sets. That's a really good sign. Next. Good. Well done. See, even he's getting light in the feet. And that's just a habit of being pressing, seated, unsupported. Normally, I would say knee collapsing is a bad thing, but he needs to clear his legs with those bricks. So not really an issue. Bryan, you're doing these well. Flick, press, good. Next. Lisa, our little pocket Hercules. Great deadlift form to get up into the stiff leg. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Lisa, I want to see a little bit more acceleration after you clear your knees. Those hips coming through with a little bit more vengeance. Otherwise, you're absolutely knocking these out of the park. Well done. Next.
Thanks.
I would say be worse at things, so you give me something to do, but don't do that.
Well, I'm not sure about my bench.
It's always the women. I'm not sure about my bench. Always, always.
I feel like I'm not getting the bar low enough.
You could press back towards your face a little bit more. Are you touching your chest or your body?
No, it's short of that.
See if you can get all the way down there. Not like right now, obviously. Yeah, you're not benching as we speak. But moving forward, I'd like to see, where is your width? You know what? Your next bench video, I want to see it from like kind of like the front angle, so I can
Okay.
kind of see what your elbows and your width is doing. I want to see what, if it's a confidence issue, a width or grip issue, or see if there's anything restricting you in those movements.
Okay. Cause yeah, I feel like I've been at the same weight for a while, although I think I'm doing more reps at the same weight. So there's been some progression, but very slow.
Yes. So on the next one, I want 2 videos. I want the side and I want the front, and I want to see what your grip's doing.
Okay.
Thank you. I mean, you don't have a bad bench for what it's worth. Like
Thanks.
you're not even bad at it. It's just some little things.
I just want to be better.
That's the goal. That's the whole game. Yannis, I saw he wasn't able to make it because I think it's very late or early over there right now. Elbows higher. Okay. So you see how you're starting in hyperextension and you kind of have this wiggle as you come down as your hips break. What I want you to do is I want you to, you're kind of here. So if you were split jerking, that would be better because you need to be back here to clear the bar to throw it. But a front squat, you want that bar close, your chin over the bar. That first rep was wonky. You kind of had this S. We need to get you, there you go, you got deeper on that one. I want your body stacked. So with that being said, I think the reason why you're so far back here is because you're not getting all the way under it for the rack position. So it doesn't feel as secure, would be my guess. Because your elbows are still kind of down here by your sides versus out in front. You're here versus here. And it could be mobility, it could be a number of things. But that's what's causing that deviation in your bar path and your descent. We need to get that secure in that rack position, your elbows up higher. So it's wedging the bar in. Your arms aren't supporting, they're wedging. It's being supported by your delts. Your shoulders are kind of trapping the bar. Your fingers and your arms are like, you ever see a trailer parked on a hill and there's a chalk block under one wheel, so don't roll down the hill? These are your chalk blocks. That's all they're doing. But overall, not a bad start. I know you're just kind of getting used to this. So we've got some work to do, but not a whole lot. Next. This is just a big beefy row. Well done, John. Strong row, strong back. I like it. Like I always tell people that there's so many ways of right with a bent over row. You know, there's Penley rows, there's Penley rows with leg drive, there's strict bent over rows, there's Yates rows, there's T-bar rows, there's, as long as you have, you know, a proper hinge position and a number of degrees, you're not too vertical and you're not in any sort of amount of flexion. Those are the things I, as a coach, need to see. There's going to be various opinions, but if I overcoach this and have you guys all rowing the same exact way, I wouldn't be doing my job. So that's why this row looks so much different than, you know, when we see at least 2 her rows that are incredibly strict. She has a back issue that she's protecting. She doesn't need to load this T-bar up and do these big back man rows. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, rows can serve different purposes. And John is doing these well for his purpose and his execution. Next. out front. You see all that space? There we go. Even then, there's still some space between that bar and you, Ben. You're slightly forward. That slight wiggle of the bars that breaks the ground, that's gravity trying to bring it back. So it kind of, because your shoulders are so far over it and you're toe heavy, it looks like midfoot toe heavy. Slightly, there's some leverage on the table here. We want that bar closer. We want you to be directly over the bar so it pulls straight up and drags up your shins. Your overall deadlift form is looking pretty good, man. It's nothing. You brace well, but you're giving the bar some advantage here. So we need to get you over that bar nice and close. So that brace will feel honestly easier when you get the bar path right. Next. Pause deadlift. Yep. Good acceleration out of the pause. He's executing these very well. But do you see when he comes up off the floor, his weight shifts back? Watch. Yep. It's very subtle, but he comes back. And that's due to what I was talking about before. But from here, wow, just pure acceleration. Really, really good execution on that pause bend. Next. Dumbbell rows. Good. This is what I mean. You see two quote unquote same exercise and it looks totally different. But Gabe, his hinge position is good. His back's supported. This is a very strict row. There's nothing wrong about this.
Oh,
well done. Yeah, those were great, man. Good job. I love how his upper body from the hips up, there is literally zero change in position. This is outstanding. Gabe, you killed those, dude.
Oh, okay. I thought because I was watching it, I thought that my hips should be maybe more like straight, or is it okay this
No,
way?
it's a little bit different of a leverage and load with the dumbbell front squat and the position because it's more like a goblet squat. So your execution is great here.
Okay, that's awesome. I wasn't sure about that when I was watching it.
No, you killed those, man. Loved
Okay.
it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Next. Another bent over row. And I mentioned her rows earlier. It's like I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming because I told her I wanted another video this week. That's how I knew. Good. Elise.
I paid for this.
How did these feel?
Terrible. I paid. If you notice, I have a little F in there in that. Yeah, I paid for this for like 3 days.
Why did you pay for that?
Lidocaine patches on my lower back. So I'm not sure.
But was there an acute point where they hurt, or was it just?
It was just afterwards. It was just definitely like an overuse strain.
Okay.
It just, it is what it is. Just because of the, I think maybe I need to go lighter. Or something.
It might be that you need to go lighter. It may be. It could be the angle. So, and this is what I mean by this is, as someone who has lower back issues and permanent nerve damage, if I'm in flexion and I'm in the very most bottom, right off the floor of the deadlift, nothing really happens. If I'm in flexion and I'm at or slightly below my kneecap, I'm now in this. If this is me standing vertically and I'm like this, and this is my shoulders, I now have a shearing point
Yeah.
in the lower back, right? So even if I'm like this, when I'm all the way bent over coming off the floor, I don't have pain I don't have to pay for it. But when I'm now I have this, because that's more like this versus
Right.
my angle changes as I rise. And now that pressure when I go into flexion, when I'm more vertical, creates this downward shearing with an angle. And that's what gets my back. It hits the
Okay.
nerve. And it doesn't matter if it's with an empty bar or if it's with 600 pounds. Obviously, the risk is higher, but because that always has potential to happen, the right angle for nerves is such a finicky thing.
Yeah.
So what you can do is you can do like a very, very bent over, like almost off the floor row if you have the mobility, lighter to create high effort and make the lift harder. Your bar path looks much better. You're running more towards your belly button, or you can do a chest supported. It's called a seal row. It's when you're laying down completely flat or at an incline prone position,
Right.
and you row. So you take that lower back
Strain
out
of
of
the
it,
equation.
and you can protect your back a little bit more. What I want you to start doing is some isometrics on your lower back and banded iso clams. We want to beef that lower back up.
Okay.
So, an isometric for like, say, a back raise, a flat back raise or a 45-degree. Do you have anything that you can trap your heels under and then rest your hips on?
Yes.
So what I want you to do is I want you to do that. And I want you to hold for as long as you can on the first rep. Literally get comfortable. I don't care if it's 30 seconds, 45, a minute, 2 minutes. I want an isometric. I want your glutes to be firing. I want that lower back contracted, but I don't want any weight.
So you're saying like in a bent, I should be in a bent over position, isometric.
No, you're going to be flat.
Flat.
Yeah. So, do you know what a glute ham raise is?
Yes.
So you know what those machines look like where you hook your heels in and then there's the pad that goes underneath your hips?
Yes.
So if you were to lay face down on that and your heels were hooked in, you're facing down, that pad's underneath your hips, and you bend up into like a flat plank position and you hold yourself there. That's called a flat back extension.
Yes. I used to do a lot of those. Probably.
I want you to do those.
Why I'm a mess now. Yeah.
I want you to do those. The first one, I want to see how long you can hold it for.
Okay.
And you can submit a video if you have questions, you can whatever. Treat it like any other lift on here. And then after that, I want you to have that time or 3/4 of that time, whatever's manageable for 3 sets of 1 of those isometrics.
Okay.
And I want those 3 times a week.
Okay.
Do you know what clam shells are?
Yeah, I do a lot of clam shells.
Put a band around your knees.
Yeah.
Hold for a minute each side, 3 rounds.
I do banded clam shells.
Good. Beginning of every workout.
Yeah. That was the first exercise after my surgery that was probably the most painful thing to do, and it's it took a while, but getting that strength, I've gotten that strength back. It's a great exercise.
We're gonna hammer the hell out of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna make you sick of them.
All right, I'm good with that.
Sweet. I'm glad you told me this because now we kind of have like a little bit of a plan. Were your deadlifts before or after your rows?
It was a different day.
But after?
But after, yeah.
Okay,
yes.
So that's a really good sign.
Yeah. That was after 3 days of lidocaine patches though.
That's a really good sign. Lidocaine doesn't even work for me when mine goes. I keep prednisone on standby. I don't even. This is a do as I say, not as I do moment. I know there's like a loading phase and then like a coming off phase. I go
Yeah.
straight to the peak and I hold there for 3-4 days and then I taper down. I don't waste any time with that 1, 2, 3. I go straight to like 3 and just because I know the drill at this point. Again, disclaimer: do as I say, not as I do.
I just go right for the shots.
These are good, nice, controlled. Form looks good. Good acceleration on getting those hips through. Good job.
It's
And I
the
love that.
first time with the straps too.
How'd the straps feel this time around?
I mean, it's a little weird. It's a little wonky, but I think my grip felt more secure.
So it's a sensory issue, not a performance issue.
Yes.
Suck it up.
Yes. It's just getting used to it. Just, there's a lot of fidgeting with them and trying to figure out where it should be and how tight it should be. And it's just because I've not done it before. That's all.
Like April said, you need 100 reps. You'll get used to it.
Exactly.
Next.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Out front. You're out front on the deadlift, but the rows look great. Use the first rep of standing up with a bent over row as deadlift practice, everybody. But your actual row themselves, I've got no quarrel with. Stand up. Yep. Brace. Come down. Nice and tight. Boom. Row into that midsection. Maybe it's just the angle. Row a little bit more towards your belly button, but to be honest, that's totally fine where you're at. Well done, man. Strong row. Next. Over under deadlift. Bring your feet in. Bring your feet in right under your shoulders. You're going to get way more leverage. Reason being is we bring our feet in. Everyone's foot width is it's like a squat. But you're gonna have a higher chest position. Bring your feet in because instead of your arms being out here, they'll be here, which gives you more arm length to utilize in your favor. Otherwise, you've got a strong back. That's no issue. But you'll get more leg drive and more leverage. Bring your feet in narrower, and it's gonna feel potentially weird for a little bit, but I bet you notice better acceleration and more power off the floor. Next.
They're flies, not RDLs.
These are good. Got great range of motion. His elbows breaking at or breaking the chest line, shoulders. Nice controlled. Well done, Carl. I like these.
Thanks.
How'd they feel?
They were good. I mean, this was actually the first set of these. And I had, the last time I did these, it's been some time. I kind of got behind the dumbbell and it kind of tweaked my shoulder. So I was really sensitive about that, making
Yes.
sure I kept my arms a little bent. And I think I overdid it. In the later sets, I kind of got more extension outward. So I got a little bit more stretch.
That's a really good way of putting it. Getting behind the dumbbell. It's super. I always tell people, like, imagine you're hugging a barrel when you're trying to, before you punch out straight at the top. It's keeping those elbows fixed so you don't do what you're saying, get behind the dumbbell, um, and go either too far out of line. You kind of gotta. You probably had like a little play with it phase with these.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's part of it, finding out where your range of motion is. Everyone's shoulders are different mobility wise. People have different pectoral muscle lengths. Um, uh,
I think
example.
I just started a new phase and I was trying to kind of also figure out what weight I should be using. So
Yep.
playing with
Yep.
it that.
Usually the first weekend programs in new phases and your rep ranges change. That first week is kind of like, all right, I can go heavy or I can go heavier or I went too heavy. And kind of getting your baseline. And when I write a program, that's my expectation. Typically the first week, maybe two, depending on how I'm undulating effort. But you did a fantastic job, man. Like, I got no issue with these.
Thanks.
Next.
These will actually be RDLs.
Okay. So I like to slow down. You can have more acceleration on the way up. And I want you to I want more hinge. What I mean by more hinge is you see right about here, you see that how there's that slight curve across your whole back?
Mhm.
I want that completely rigid. Stiff leg deadlifts and RDLs that's like a must non-negotiable because the reason being is I want that stretch to come down through your glutes and hamstrings. So the more you turn that tailbone to the sky, push that belly button to the floor, keep that chest proud, the more you're going to feel that stretch. Just think about if you're bending over to touch your toes. If you let your back round, you can get lower.
Mhm.
If you keep your back rigid and just hinge at the hips like a door hinge, like just completely no give, you can't get down to your feet likely, unless, I don't know, some people can. But that's what we want. We want that stretching through the hamstring, that elongation, that glute, and the driver as you come up. Don't think about standing up. Think about squeezing your butt so your hips drive through. Your hips are pushing your chest up.
Yeah, that was one of the things I didn't feel like I was feeling the hamstring as much, and I've been noticing throughout this that you've been seeing a lot of explosive on the concentric, and I was really trying to slow things down purposely, and that looks like it's
And that's okay. The reason why you're not feeling the stretching in the hamstring is because of your back position. If we tighten that up and get more rigid through the back and more hinge, pushing that butt back behind you, you'll feel that in the hamstrings. You could even try slightly less knee bend as well.
okay.
All right?
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Good job. Next. There he is. If you don't know why he's wearing those socks around his calves, you don't hold the bar close enough to you on deadlifts. We call it earning your stripes when you pull the skin up in front of your chins. Yes. Look at that. Did you see how as soon as he got his glutes involved, he accelerated into that lockout? Right. Boom. Even on a heavy pull, acceleration. That's what I want to see.
That is so hard on the heavy pulls.
Mm-hmm. That's why I want to see it absolutely flying on the light pulls. Speed creates power. Power is nothing without speed. The speed work, I can't emphasize this enough. The speed work sets up so many foundations for your heavy work. This is why when we're doing stuff at the lighter weights like deadlift and accelerating the bar, why it's so important to get that input of acceleration, because this is a clinic on how it translates.
So
And because of that,
should we be able to do that at like 80% of our PR or 70%? What would you say?
Absolutely. Yeah, like it should really taper off like 85, 90 plus.
Wow.
It'll still there will always be acceleration at that part of the deadlift if you're training it. Because there's a certain point in your deadlift where you will not fail. And it looks a little bit different for everyone else. And that's where you see the acceleration come into play. Now, that acceleration scales. That acceleration will be much more prevalent at 40, 50, 60, 70%. That acceleration will be there, but less prevalent at 75, 80, 85. That acceleration will be there all the way through 90, maybe 100 if you have a big gap of your off the floor strength versus your lockout strength. But it will always speed up on that top portion of the deadlift if you're training it to that way. That's why I'm always harping on it. It is so incredibly important. The input of acceleration versus just picking the bar up, because you need to have an acceleration input even if there's no visible acceleration, or else you'll stall out. What a great pull to end on.
No, mine didn't load. No, can you reload? I just loaded mine other there, down at the bottom.
Andres.
Yeah, you thought I was gonna leave you? No.
I didn't know who uploaded what. Yell at Noah.
I'm just saying.
Bully him. Rack pulls. Doing it on a plyometric box because the rack don't go low enough. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, man.
Would you quit thinking and just pull on the bar?
I know.
What's your rep range on these for this set?
I think 6, 4 times 6. That's 115.
See how your hips are a little bit soft?
I do.
I want your shoulders over your hips. I want those hips locked out. Because you want to power lift, right?
Yes.
You'll get a no rep. You'll get a red light for that.
Okay.
That'll be called a soft, quote unquote, soft lockout.
Okay.
So that's why I'm coming down hard on you.
Okay.
And I don't want you to have a red light because you did all the work except the last inch. I mean, that's an inch or two of movement.
Yeah.
And the fact that you got it that far means you absolutely can. So I would like to see it to where the plates don't cover up where your hips are.
Okay.
So I could see how much we
Okay.
need. And honestly, the speed of that, you can do those much heavier.
Okay. All right.
Those are flying, Sandra.
All right.
Let me watch a couple more reps. Hold on. I want to see if anything else stands out. So I was focusing on the hips. You're strong. Let yourself be strong. You do good. You pack your lats. You get everything set up in position. Yeah. Load more weight on the bar on your next rack pull. I mean, you probably can do that with another 30 to 50 pounds and still do that rep range.
All right, will do.
Next. Ooh, spotto presses.
This feels awkward to me.
Yeah, they can be a little weird. See how you're completely flat on the bench?
Yeah.
I want a little bit of an arch.
Okay.
The reason being is we're creating a coil. So when we're coiled up, we're generating more quad tension, more glute tension, and we're pulling that back together. You look pretty flat on the bench.
Okay.
And you're leaving horsepower pounds on the table. Your bench isn't bad. It just has so much potential just by getting in better position. So what I want you to do is watch Carlee's position.
Will do.
And I want you to kind of chew on that one and look at that. It doesn't have to be a shitload of arch. I just want a little bit of arch so we can draw that back in. That part where she came out of the rack and you saw her shoulders click into position and those lats engage, that's what we want. That slight arch, squeezing your butt. When I almost fail on bench press reps, the first thing that almost always cramps is my butt because I'm squeezing so hard.
Got it.
Which is
Okay.
a very uncomfortable cramp. If you've never had an ass cheek cramp up, you're not missing out. It is terrible.
I won't laugh. Sorry.
It makes you like slither off the bench because like you can't move. You just look like an idiot. And I'm in a private gym. You're in a public gym. So if that happens to you, everyone's gonna see it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Nick will be demonstrating this at the Arnold Sports Festival on the first day.
I look forward to it.
Well, don't worry. If I fail in the animal cage, I'll be failing in front of thousands of people. So if anything catastrophic happens, it will be all over the internet.
Hey, thanks, Nick. Appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. Andres, he's a really good dude.
Okay.
Same thing. I want to see a slight arch in your back. Just
Okay.
slight. And it's a little bit less pronounced on incline anyway, just
Yeah.
because of incline. Are you squeezing your butt? I can't tell.
Should maybe I can make
Okay.
it.
In the middle of your press, I saw that right foot just dance.
Mm-hmm.
Means we're not getting leg drive. We're not creating tension through our legs. I want you to, this is what I mean coiling. Like when I sit up underneath a bench, I actually pull myself up above the bar. Then I push myself down and stack. Literally, I call it pushing myself down into my feet.
Mm-hmm.
I like compress my whole body down into my feet so my feet are screwed into the floor. And what any bench press with a barbell, you should be stacking your body. Your bar path is great. Everything looks overall. If I wasn't being so picky with you right now, you could bench like this for the rest of your life and
be okay with it. Yeah,
be
but
fine.
okay, I get it.
But that's not why I'm here.
No, I know. Just to kick our butt. That's fine.
To help you help yourself. That's all.
Yeah. That's a nice way to put it.
And you're a good sport, so I can be picky with you.
Yeah, I know. I'm a sucker for that.
Well done, man.
Thank you. There's one more.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. Yes. I want you to come down in the same position you go up.
Okay, yeah, I've noticed that I'm coming like trying to drop the weight down.
Yes. That your starting position is what we're after. That's what we've been chasing this whole time. So this is the right height we need you to work at and build that strength, build that muscle memory in that brace, that position.
Okay.
Just like we did with Benoit. And then you can drop, an inch and then work it there. Keep doing your cat cows, keep doing that hip mobility work. This is really exciting to see, Andres. This is a light bulb moment for you. You're in the right position.
Okay. Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you. That's like 5 inches, I think, of height.
That's not bad. Benoit, we started you from virtually almost the top. Cool. All right, Q&A section.
Yes.
Yeah, Ben worked all.
Oh yeah, and it helped a lot to feel the proper position.
Alrighty. Questions. Let's hit the Q&A section.
Well, since you got me, I think I kind of pulled my oblique a little bit, so I might have just to take it slow for a few days. Or should I just stretch and not go super heavy, I guess.
Was there a moment that you felt it?
I think it's with I felt it this morning when doing the deadlift.
During the deadlift, not after.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you feel it?
Here.
Yeah, could be oblique, flat.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like in a weird zone area, but it's like this small. I can feel it. It's not super big.
Yeah, you might just have to let off the gas pedal for a few days. I wouldn't push it. Keep it. If I always tell people pain rule when it comes to some sort of tweak, strain, or joint, keep it at a 2 out of 10. But don't do nothing.
Yeah, I'll plan to take it a little bit lower weights and stuff. So and see how it goes.
Cool.
All right.
Next, you've got one. Don't take it easy on me now.
When are you in the animal cage at the sports festival?
It will likely be Friday. Main reason being is so here's the plan. I currently hold the axle clean and press world record at 375 pounds. Long story short, I did that 2 weeks after Santa Monica. I hadn't touched an axle in 2 years, so I did that with zero prep. So we decided to run a clean and press training block. After Worlds this year, my coach told me to go play with one. So 2 weeks after Worlds, I didn't post it, but I put up 383.
Wow.
So in a perfect world, which it is not, the plan is to open up at 385. And then my main goal is to be the first 90 kilo to break the 400-pound barrier to put over their head.
That's awesome goals. Great.
I'm working with my coach, and I hired an Olympic coach as well I pressed 375. There was no jerk. It was power. So to maximize press strength, you jerk. So I hired an Olympic coach to work in conjunction. They communicate to learn efficiently split jerking to put if I can press 375, if I learn a split jerk properly, it's there immediately. You can You can put on 25 just by jerking. You can put 30 to 40 pounds on a lift immediately.
What runs through your head? What runs through your mind? Like, we're not supposed to overthink it, but when you're trying for, like a record like that, what's literally going through your head?
It's kind of a sequence. As I'm working up, before I start working up, I kind of elevate myself. I think about what it feels like to fail. And that's what kind of elevates my nervous system. That's what really flips the switch. I get goosebumps. And then I visualize as the weight gets heavier, when I get within striking range, I visualize every little thing that goes right, that needs to go right. Every time, every good rep in training, the process, it's moving at a snail's pace through my mind. Every single step, the clean, the flip, the rebrace, the rack, getting set, not getting in my head like this is heavy as fuck, I need to get it off. Taking my time. I'm here, I'm good, I got time to work. And then just big legs. I think big legs get through. Big legs get through. But I mean, I'm so elevated when I get to that point, I don't really hear anything. I'm kind of underwater.
Yeah, you're in the zone.
And I'm on the verge. I'm honestly on the verge of tears. I'm so elevated. Between the fear of failure, the visualization of success, the time, the effort that went into the injury risk that comes with something like this, I don't even think about. It's not even getting injured is not even a thought, even though it's an incredibly real possibility. But yeah, I'm just quiet. It's like the most as someone who's incredibly scatterbrained, my thoughts are incredibly loud. My brain is incredibly loud. From the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. It's like, think about 12 conversations happening at once all day long. It costs bandwidth just to exist. And under that pressure is like the only time where my brain is like, there's this one wavelength where there's only one conversation, there's only one focal point, there's only one thing. And my nervous system, while it's aroused, it's also like at peace. Like, it's the only time, like, man, this is what it feels like to think on one track. So
very cool.
It's addicting. It's incredibly addicting. Especially when that press goes up and it lands and it's such a vivid time in space that the only way I hope everyone gets to experience a moment like that vivid at least once in their life, because the smells, the lights are brighter, the crowd is louder, the air is heavier, I don't really know how to put it into words, but it's just a vivid moment where time just becomes this one thing. It like doesn't exist, and then it's over. You blink and it's gone, and you did it, and then that's it.
That's awesome. I go through that every day. That's amazing. Good luck.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Yeah, just actually one for mine. It was actually in the chat, but I had the exact same question about lateral raises and making sure it's actually in your shoulder and not your traps. I mean, I doing it last week, traps were lit the next day, so.
Yep, mine do that too. One thing you can do is think about slightly, not entirely, slightly lead with your elbow. Like a fraction of a turn up.
Sorry, which way? Okay.
So slightly leading with your elbow. What that also means is, can you still see from here?
Yeah.
So what that also means is not coming up, but think about drawing a half circle. So leading with your elbow, and you should feel the difference versus think about if you just come straight up. Where do you feel it there? Feel it somewhat in your trap, right?
Yeah.
So now reach out and lead with your elbow in a half circle.
Okay. So you also say like the front of the dumbbells kind of tip downward?
Yeah, you can kind of tip it down just a little bit. It's not, you're not pouring out you're not watering the flowers or anything, but just a slight little tip down and lead with your elbow.
With the elbow, okay.
Out away from you. So if you're doing it bilateral, reach out away from you. Obviously, when you break that flat and you squeeze at the top, you're going to get a little bit of trap engagement. That's okay. Sure. But we don't want to raise here and initiate with our trap. So to avoid that, I want you to reach out and lead with that elbow, and you should feel that load, that delt.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was definitely lit in a funny area.
It's honestly a really common thing. I was honestly feeling traps in lateral raises probably for the first couple of years I was doing them. Then someone taught me that cue, and I was like, light bulb. In my brain, I heard Guru's voice from Despicable Me. If anyone's seen that, he's like, light bulb.
You didn't go paint the fence?
No. What else? Who else we got? I have a couple questions here in the chat if no one else has any
I
more.
just have one.
Go ahead, Jeanette.
I'm just curious. My program has reverse lunges. I was just curious if you can do them without weights, or do you have to do them with weights?
No, you don't have to. I mean, all a reverse lunge is instead of stepping forward, you step backward. You can do them body weight, just like anything else.
Okay, because I don't go all the way down. When I was in PT, I did reverse lunges without weights. So
That's okay. Yeah, and if it's something that you need to, gradually build up to, that's totally fine too.
I have arthritis in both legs, so I was just
Okay.
wondering.
Yeah, if you've got a restriction like that, working within your range of motion and without weight, and what you can do to make that range of motion harder is make the lunge slower.
Okay.
Step back and just control slow. Try and shoot for like a 4-second rep. Let those legs burn.
Okay. I'm good with like upper body, and I'm usually okay with deadlifts, but sometimes after if I lift too heavy, then my leg starts to hurt. I've noticed that.
Yeah, and arthritis is. I had a client with rheumatoid arthritis, and she was doing the treatments, the fusions.
I get those, yeah.
Yeah, and I will say this, like she went into remission like after 3 years of strength training, and she was competing powerlifting. So I promise you that what you're doing is only going to help you.
I was reading online that deadlift actually helps people that have arthritis. So
yeah, I mean, you're talking.
I didn't even know.
Like a structural condition, and when you get down to it, like lifting helps not just muscle density. And you're, I believe, what, about 50?
I'll be 50 next month, so the end of February. So
well, you don't look 50, so you got that. 2, 50 plus. The deterioration of both bone and muscle density amplify. So protein intake and strength training become all the more important for quality of life, longevity of life. So the fact that you're doing this now, you're rolling into that 50 and you're working out on a regular basis is a really, really, really good place to be in, Jeanette.
I told my dad, I go, yeah, I'm going to go to the gym on my birthday, because my birthday's in the middle of the week on a Tuesday.
Shut up, Dad. I'm going to go get strong.
I was like half joking, half serious about that, but
hey, I'm going to be on my birthday. My birthday's, it's in the past been on the Arnold, but I'll be dehydrated on my birthday, trying to make it.
Yeah.
I'll be dehydrated, grumpy, miserable. So
Aren't you always that way?
Am I
Sorry,
always that way?
Yeah.
Maybe not dehydrated, but maybe borderline grumpy.
See,
that's a fair assessment.
You're always dehydrated. You're always fitting into a cup. What are you talking about?
No, that's just a bad habit.
Yeah, my
That's what
bad
happens when
habit.
you join
too,
the military at 18. You get introduced to nicotine and caffeine way too young.
I learned to drink in military school. I can vouch for that part of it.
The Aussies just came out drinking.
Learned to coordinate my elbow with my mouth.
Home ec class in Australia is how to brew beer.
Yeah, you want to know how?
We do moonshine in this part of the country.
Yeah, but we do it in kindergarten.
Oh God. You just color coordinate things.
Yeah, we teethe. I was teethed on the I don't know what you call them in America, but they're the really thick biscuits, but you don't call them biscuits. The thick cookies, and I don't know, it was my grandmother used to dunk it in beer and I'd suck on it all day long. I know, it's awful.
Not the old whiskey on the gums trick to make you go to sleep.
It's similar, only this lasted all day.
Being a child in Australia, just walking around half buzzed from grandpa's cookies.
That Vegemite, that'll do it to you.
Oh, I can confirm it is either something you love or hate, and I hated it.
You just haven't had it right. That's all.
I hated it. I mean, a Kiwi gave it to me. Does that count?
No.
He was like, "Hey, bro, try some of this, eh?"
Yeah.
No
Because
Kiwi
everything sounds like a
slander.
question.
No Kiwi slander. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't have very good jokes about Kiwis. You know, men are men, women are scarce, and sheep are nervous. So you got to be careful.
Oh my God.
All right, goodbye.
Any more questions or underage drinking stories?
Yes. Hi, Nick. This is Benoit. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you I don't know if you can answer that question, but I've done the FUBAR diet like last month.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've lost 20 pounds, so an average of 5 pounds per week. But then my strength went really low, even though I was taking my carbs right before the workout, like 1 hour before the workout, I was taking my carbs, and then I feel that I'm not muscular enough to to go leaner. So I decided to just stop and do it maybe a year later when I have more muscles. But then I was wondering what's the reason why I became so weak and why the size of my arms quite significantly dropped. And
this is going to sound incredibly simple.
Yep.
You're not eating enough. You're in a deficit. You're demanding more than you're giving. So let's talk about food as fuel. So fuel does a couple things. We have within our fuel, we have macros, or carbs, or proteins, or fats. Macros are how you look. You have micronutrients, which affect brain chemistry and how you feel. Now, when it comes to a strength standpoint, we talk about it's a matter of performance, plainly put. Macros are fuel. Protein needs to be high. Carbs need to be used for energy. Fats typically are on the leaner side because it is a slow burning fuel. We need hard hitting. We need race fuel. We need the alcohol motor versus the unleaded, right? So I had you do more carbs before training to give you that little burst of fuel. But if your overall calorie intake is less than what you're asking of your body, your horsepower is going to plummet. You get weaker cutting weight. You do. You're at a point now where 5 pounds a week's fast. Like that's going to
Yeah.
impact.
Mhm.
So odds are, I think you probably A, need to up your protein, and B, could probably use a little bit more carbs on your training days. Because if you're losing weight that fast, you're asking so much of your body. You're just burning through your food, and your bodies can't build anything. So at a certain point, we hit the trade-off. So like, if you ask Ben, initially when he first started lifting, he was losing weight and getting stronger, even in a deficit, because of the body composition.
Yeah.
The scales will turn. So we'll get to a point, so your fat's up here and your lean mass is here. As you're lifting, even in a deficit, because your lean mass is low, it's building. Fat is plummeting. Now we're close, right? So lean mass is starting to build. So our weight doesn't seem like the weight's coming off, but we're denser, lean mass wise. So eventually they're going to do this. Your lean mass you're going to get more solid, but you might still have some fluff on the outside you're not happy about, you want to get rid of. That doesn't mean I need to be in this giant deficit to lose that. What it means is I need to eat in a way that allows me to fuel and still maintain a body composition. I eat for fuel. My aesthetics are a byproduct of my strength training. So I have abs. They're just hard to see because I'm incredibly hairy. But my food, even when I'm in a surplus, I'm not getting fat off of it. My body's trying to grow because I'm eating in a macro balance that is conducive to gaining muscle and not fat. Does that make sense? So,
Yeah.
For example,
well, in some way, with the personalized diet, I was losing maybe half a pound per week, and I was getting like super strong, like never before. But then with a friend of mine in the app, we decided to do the FUBAR diet, and I was like, okay, it's like cutting in half what I'm currently taking. So I hoped. Yeah, so I hope that after 2 weeks, then the digits would go up, because 5 pounds per week was crazy fast, and then I noticed maybe I lost muscle as well.
It's not sustainable. 5 pounds a week, it's not. So what I think you're at a point where you need to prioritize your eating around what your goal is. If you're trying to get stronger, get jacked, you need to eat, do so. Eating, not that the FUBAR diet's a great diet. It works. I mean, you lost 5 pounds a week, but you're asking, what program are you running?
I was 220 when I started, and then I'm now 200.
Yeah, what training program are you on right now?
Oh, I'm currently in the short on time, but that's Ketch told me that it wasn't a good option for me. It was the recommended program, so I took it. But then he said, for you shouldn't take the short on time. But then I started it, and I'm in a temporary situation now, so I'm doing it until the end, and then afterwards I want to start the strength, maximize the strength, and get back in real shape.
So in a nutshell, I would start adjusting your diet to gain strength. And it doesn't mean you've got to eat in a way that you gain all this weight, but you need to eat in a manner that allows your body to grow in strength. Now, strength training, we prioritize strength gains over weight gains, but weight gains come. We just don't want to outrun our strength with our weight. That's the trick. And that's where eating lean proteins allow us to do that. Eating for fuel, dude, I probably eat like 300 grams of protein a day. Like, and I'm barely in a spot. I'm maximizing my weight division, where my sitting weight is starting to get so far away from my weigh-in weight. I'm not going to be able to do 90 kilo for much longer. And that's just the course of over 7 years, 8 years, 9 years of eating that way, that my body naturally put on lean mass. Over, I would say I probably sat at around 200. I started training strongman. I weighed like 180 pounds. I was fighting at 175, light heavyweight. And then I started training, and within the first year, I gained, 5 pounds. Boom. I exploded. I'm like, man, I'm putting on some size. I maintained about 195 for the second year because I was eating. Now I was eating to get stronger, and I was eating anything and everything. I just knew my protein had to be high. And then competitively, my body loved 205, which was a really easy weight cut. It was like 8 pounds was just water. I didn't have to do any crazy carb cycling or any big cuts. It was a super easy cut. Now I maintained 205 for about 3-4 years. And the last 2 years, I hit 210, I hit 215, hit 220. My body is just getting to the point where it needs to grow.
Yeah, I used to weight 150 while boxing while I was a teenager. And then when I stopped, I took a lot of weight, like 60 pounds in 3 months. But then I dropped to 190, and afterwards I wasn't able to go lower than 190. And then I went to 220, actually 227, and then but then there was a bit of fat there. So now I think at 215 is like probably the lower I can go without cutting the strength.
Yep.
Like,
and what I'm getting at is, in the time I've gained 30 to 40 pounds, I've put 300 pounds on my deadlift. So that means my strength gain, my weight gain never exceeded my strength gain. I didn't get too big too fast. And that's where a lot of people mess up early on. They're like, I want to get big as shit. And it's like, okay, but you're just going to be weak and big. And then next thing you know, they're out of control. They're fat, or they're this big jack guy and they deadlift 400 pounds. And I'm like, that's like my speed work. And then I come in a 2XL hoodie and sweatpants and look unassuming and rip 500 off the ground and makes their head spin. Like, how do you do that? You prioritize strength and you eat accordingly. So what I'm trying to say is you're going to have to stop focusing on scale and go with body composition. Is my biggest tell for you, is go off of how your training's feeling and how your body starts changing. Start taking a picture the first of every month without a shirt on. Be honest. Take a picture the first of every month. Then look at 6 months. Then look at a year and see the difference of, and this is where you really learn how to eat for you. Like if you go, okay, I'm adding 20 grams of protein every day for this month. I'm adding 20 more grams of carbs to my food total before I work out. How does that feel? How does that make me look? What is that doing? What are the results I'm getting? And this is a long game. There is going to be some experimentation required of you learning this, unless you hire a nutrition coach that goes, okay, this is your blood work. You can get so into the weeds with this, which is what I don't want you to do. I just want you to not starve yourself of getting stronger. So you might have to back off the food bar diet and put yourself in a position nutritionally where you have somewhat of a surplus, so your body can grow and you get stronger. You can perform.
Yeah, I already switched back to the personalized diet, where I get like 220 grams of protein on workout days. But then the current program is really not hard enough. Even though I slow down everything, it takes maybe half an hour instead of like 2 hours. I used to do with the next level. And
some programs, all programs work. It just depends on who and where you're at and your effort.
It's just, it was the recommended one, but so that's the reason why I took it. But then Ketch said that he has to correct the algorithm, so that
that's above my pay grade. I pick up rocks, dude. I don't mess with algorithms. No, sir. Your boy just learned how to start a Zoom by himself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, dude. You need to eat in a manner that suits what you're trying to do.
All right. Thank you.
Anyone else before I hit the ones in the chat? All right. John Hartley won't be able to make Zoom tonight, blah, blah, blah. Do you have a question? I have one more workout in maximized strength on Sunday, and I was going to try for 1 rep maxes next week on deadlift, squat, and bench. I was going to space them out over at least 2 separate days, maybe 3. Any suggestions? Yes, give yourself a deload week. I wouldn't test any of those lifts till the end of that week. Why? Because we want to come down off of the program. We want recovery. We want some inflammation to die down. We want to get hydrated. We want to get fed. We want to give ourselves the best chance possible to get the biggest number possible. So if you're coming off your program on Sunday, I wouldn't test till Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Friday at the earliest. That gives you some deload time to, again, that is very important when it comes to testing, is coming off the program and recovering. Central nervous system fatigue is a real thing. I was very strict on Catch with it in his testing, and it showed. He had one night of really, really bad sleep, I think, because his kid or dog or I forget what the exact reason was, but it affected him the next day. And he was like, I think this is going to sabotage me, but I'm going to go for it anyway because I'm here. And he did. And it didn't work out. And it's okay. So, John, yes, I would not, I'd come down, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what your training split's like. So I don't want to say Monday, Tuesday. I don't want to give you a day, but your first training session should be anything. It's all going to be speed related. Nothing more than, 50% effort on the bar, 50% weight of your current maxes, not your targeted maxes, because it's not 50% yet. And then the day before, a day or two before, rest days, man. Walk, move, stretch, roll out, recover. Give yourself a real shot at hitting new numbers.
And Nick, would you increase your carbs the day before?
Yeah, you can carb load. I wouldn't go crazy. You don't want to get too far out of the realm of normalcy and cause an upset stomach, be flat. But yeah, you can eat a little bit heavier carb wise on the day before. Sure. Yannis, this was regarding his front squat video. He said, I may need to place basically, his question is, how do I balance the squat? And that was that video where he was kind of zigzagging on the way down. And honestly, I think the question was answered in your rack position is you're still here. So you think you're underneath of it and you're standing up straight, but you're actually in hyperextension because you're not all the way underneath that bar. But other than that, you get that rack position and you sit between your heels just like you would a normal squat. Same exact thing, just rack position's different. I don't want you to think about it any differently. Otherwise you'll overthink it. It's a squat at the end of the day. You just hold the bar differently and it tries to fold you over a little bit harder. That's really about it. Anyone else before we get on up out of here? Going once, going twice. Alrighty. I'll catch y'all next week, probably on Wednesday.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
See you guys.
All right.
Thank you.